Depending on everyone, thank you so much for coming. It is so wonderful to see parents, teachers, and community members join us tonight for this important conversation.
You're shutting up.
Just by being here shows our shared commitment and concerns about the safety of our children in our community. As we all know, e-bikes and scooters have become increasingly popular over the past few years. They offer a convenient, eco-friendly, and enjoyable way to travel around one beautiful city. It is so nice to be able to have our kids get to places on their own, and for those of you with multiple children, you know how helpful this is. But along with this freedom and the growing presence of these e-bikes and e-scooters on our streets, it is so important that we address the safety concerns associated with it. Tonight, you will hear from Commissioner Craig Russell, who is so invested in our children with his role as a parent, educator, coach, trainer, and mentor to our kids. He has made this issue a priority, and I am so pleased to support his efforts. I wanted to thank our partners who have also made this a priority, and you will have a chance to talk to them later tonight. Stephanie Vianos, Orange County School Board member. Adriana Rodriguez, Metro Plan Orlando's Senior Transportation Engineer. And Lindsay Ellison, Winter Park Police Department's Community Resource Officer. I also want to recognize the hard work of our city management team, Randy Knight, and our city manager and assistant city manager, Michelle DeLongway. They support and provide resources for our police chief, Tim Volkerson, to allow his agency to continue enforcement and education in our city. I also want to recognize Charles Ramdat, a Public Works Director who is responsible for our roads, sidewalks, and all our transportation measures, programs, and operations for the city. He works hand with Metro Plan, Orange County, FDOT, and other regional agencies to ensure our infrastructure is safe and maintained for all travel throughout the state. I encourage you all to take an active role in this conversation. Your insights, experience, and suggestions are so important because we work together to create a safer environment for everyone. Once again, thank you for being here and your dedication to making our city a safer place. Commissioner Russell. We'll turn the mic up for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Hold the applause. Hold the applause over here. All right, now present mode. Perfect. Technology works, and here we are. Again, thank you, Madam Mayor. My name is Craig Russell. I am one of your city commissioners, but I'm also a father. I'm a husband. I'm an educator of 22 years. And I'm a concerned citizen. Tonight, we're here to address one of the fastest growing safety issues in our city, youth and family use of e-bikes and e-scooters. Our goal is simple. It's to keep our kids safe, our sidewalks safe, and our community involved. I want to thank my assistants, two of my kids over there in the back, and of course my wife for supporting these efforts and being a part of this. It's for them, it's for our families. It's why I'm so invested in this issue. So, why we are here, I wanted to show you all something. I'm 45 years old. I grew up in Winter Park. Back then it was rollerblades. Rollerblades was a big thing. And I used to skate all over the place. I skated Rollins. The stairs were in there, were real fun. The 9th grade center. I'd skate from my house in the Pines to Brookshire, all over the place. And the only way that I learned, aside from obviously my parents, their teachings, and DARE, do you remember DARE, Drug Abuse Resistance Education, that campaign, the bike safety campaign that was going on around that time, but also G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe, for those of you that remember G.I. Joe, had PSAs, they're not PSAs anymore, public service announcements for different topics. And this one, I think, was very appropriate. That stuck with me to this day. To this day, that stuck with me. Knowing is half the battle, right? And those of you around my age, or maybe even a little bit older, you guys remember. Uh-oh. That's my YouTube still going off. Let's close that. Let's go here. And let's talk about why we are here. Tonight's objective is to educate and engage the community on safe, responsible e-bike, e-scooter use in Winter Park by providing clear information. Let's read it off of there. We're going to learn about our local municipal laws and ordinances that apply to e-mobility riders, safety best practices for students, families, and community members. We're going to review some of the current e-bike and e-scooter trends and how to ride responsibly to keep sidewalks, roads, and shared spaces safe. Ultimate goal, obviously, is to build a positive, informed e-mobility culture in our community. Am I good here? Yeah, here we go. This matters most because the number of e-bikes and e-scooters in Florida are skyrocketing. And with that rise, we're seeing more accidents, many involving young riders. And in my experience as a parent and as an educator, I've seen kids hurt. I had a kid in my class last semester, the second quarter. He had to withdraw and do what's called a hospital homebound because he was riding his e-scooter and he dumped his e-scooter, shredded up his the road rash. The road rash broke both his wrists, so he had to stay home for the rest of the school year. He'll be hospital homebound. One of my son's friends, he died. He died riding an e-scooter. You know, these are things that are scary, but I think putting out the right information and getting that fear away from us will help significantly. Our priority, obviously, is protecting kids and protecting our residents. And that's why state legislators created a House bill, it's House Bill 243, to bring structure, accountability, and safety into this rapidly changing space. Well, what is an electric bike? Anybody? Anybody? No. Does everybody here have a cell phone? Everybody here have a cell phone? You have your cell phones out? Everybody? Here, let's do this. I have an idea. As a teacher, what we do is we like to assess prior knowledge to see where we are and where we can go with the with our audience. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a game. And I would like to assess your prior knowledge. So if you could, take out your cell phones. If you need help, my assistants will help you log in. Just scan the QR code. What you can do is hold your phone up at the camera, squeeze it so it gets to the QR code right there, click it, and you should be okay. All right, Wes, okay. Lovely. Take about 45 more seconds. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18, okay. 19. We're at 18. If I can get to 20, perfect. This is what we call an ideal sample set. Hagedorn, get your phone now, we're playing a game. All right, so it's pretty easy. It'll come up on your phone. You'll just select the answer, the triangle. When riding an e-bike, the rider must slow to what speed when within 50 feet of a pedestrian? When riding an e-bike, the rider must slow to what speed within 50 feet of pedestrian? 50 feet is about from me to my friend Wes right there. $10 miles an hour, okay, all right. It's not 5 miles an hour. You have to slow down to 10 miles an hour, okay? This is actually what's coming, all right, in one of the bills, I think it's Bill 243, that it's gonna be put into law to when a rider, okay, on an e-bike, gets within 50 feet of pedestrian, they have to idle down and slow down. What is one of the defining characteristics of an electric scooter under Florida statute? I think the exact statute is 316.00 something. So an electric scooter can't exceed 20 miles an hour, must have 3 or more wheels, must have a seat, cannot exceed 18 miles an hour. All right, for the most part, we got the 76%. Yes, a scooter can't exceed 20 miles an hour, an electric scooter. Here's a good one. What is the maximum motor wattage allowed for an e-bike under Florida law? That means when you go online and you buy an electric bicycle, it's going to have a wattage output. It can be 500 watts, 1,000 watts, 750 watts, 1,250, it could be 3,000 watts. Under Florida law, what's allowed? 750 watts. We have 9 people in quite, 750 watts. That is the maximum motor wattage allowed for an e-bike under Florida law. Under Florida statute, e-bike riders have the same rights and duties as moped riders, motor vehicle operators, scooters, bicycle riders. Is it?
Trick question.
Is it? Motor vehicle operators, bicycle riders. Officer Ellison, if you don't mind, turn on your mic right there. You said that was a trick question. Would you care to explain my trick?
Well, it depends on the e-bike itself because there are different types, some with pedals and some without pedals. So depending on the bike, the e-bike, it can fall under bicycle rider regulations, but depending on the motor, it can go under motor vehicle operations.
He's exactly right. Certain e-bikes are treated as bicycle riders, basically. And certain e-bikes are treated as motor vehicles. What do you think we're getting our kids? What do you think our kids are riding? That's the question you probably should ask yourself. Which of the following are required on all e-bikes manufactured after January 1, 2021? Rear suspension, turn signals, 29-inch wheels, or a permanent class label showing top assisted speed and wattage? It's kind of a gimme. permanent class label showing top assisted speed and wattage. We'll talk more in depth what that means, what top assisted speed is and what wattage is, but any e-bike that is on the road, it should have a big sticker on it that says 750 watts, 29 miles an hour, 500 watts, 20 miles an hour. It should be displayed on there what the class is, class 2, 3, whatnot, and also the wattage. When passing pedestrians on shared paths, what must e-bike and e-scooter riders do? When passing pedestrians on shared paths, what must e-bike and e-scooter riders do? On your left, on your right. 4. When riding, you got to communicate, okay? We'll talk about some best practices and how we can coach up our kids, how we can tell our kids how to do that appropriately. I think one of the best ways to start out is making sure they know that they shouldn't have 2 earbuds in when riding, maybe 1 at best or none, which is safer. But by law, they can only have 1. What class is this bike? Could be a class 1, could be a class 2, could be a class 3, could be a class 4. None of those could be true, some could be true. What class do you think that bike is? Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. It is kind of hard to tell. I did that on purpose because without that permanent class label, them riding by, nobody can actually know if that's a legal vehicle that's allowed to be on the shared pathways or whatnot, okay? It's very easy to mix up these things without that permanent class label following the rules, okay? So we're here to learn about what all these different classifications mean and how to identify them. In City Winter Park, e-bikes can be ridden on sidewalks in the central business district only at what speed? 5 miles an hour, 3 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour. So I can cruise on my e-bike on Park Avenue in 3 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour, or 10 miles an hour. I can go from here to City Hall on my e-bike. I can't. Not allowed. Central Business District, nope. You can't ride it. Not around here, nope. It's not allowed. Sorry. While riding the e-scooter, helmets are recommended for all riders and legally required for riders under 18, riders under 13, riders under 16, or only Randy Knight. Excellent. Yes. I'm telling you, I said Randy that he's legally required. It's probably safe, but I mean, Randy actually likes to ride electric skateboards. He's more of a skateboard guy. Last one. Where can e-bikes be ridden? On the streets, in the roadways, bicycle lanes, bicyclical paths, all the above, none of the above. That's right, all the above. E-bikes can be ridden on the streets, bicycle lanes, shared paths, the roadways. They can be ridden in all these areas, unless specifically prohibited within certain areas in certain municipalities. And we'll talk about what that means for Winter Park. Prior knowledge, it's a little bit better than I thought, but I think we have some outliers in the audience, but I appreciate you indulging. Were there any facts that we were presented just then that were surprising? Not surprising at all? Yes, sir.
Did you say not on sidewalks?
Not on sidewalks?
Yeah.
They're allowed on sidewalks,
That's what I thought. Otherwise, that would have been the surprise.
except in the central business districts, okay? So the point of it is that what we don't know is, or what isn't common knowledge is how much freedom, these vehicles have, these e-scooters and e-bikes have. They do have a lot of freedom as of right now. There are some municipal laws that say that they're prohibited in certain areas. We'll talk about that here in a second. But they do have a certain amount of latitude in where they can be ridden and where they are. I don't think that's common knowledge. Part of today is sharing the knowledge that that parents need, that kids need, in order to make an informed decision about getting these things. Presenter mode. All right, so let's define an e-bike. Under Florida law, an e-bike has three things. All right, it has operable pedals, it has a seat, and it has an electric motor under 750 watts. Every bike in Florida falls under one of these three classes: Class 1, Class 2, Class 3. Now, there are e-bikes that have larger motors that are more than, but under 750 watts is what's allowed per the statute. The e-bikes that are most popular, and this will be shared online to where you can see, there's various different models and brands. You might hear them called boost bikes. The common term, pedal assist. Pedal assist bikes meaning you got pedals, and as soon as you pedal that, the motor helps you propel you forward. It should be a top assisted speed. I selected some that are acceptable, right, in regards to the top speed, if their youth size is available, if they're good for smaller riders, because let's face it, what's happening is that a lot of these, kids want to go fast. And I was guilty of it. I was guilty of wanting a specialized rock hopper mountain bike. It was the lightest, and I can go the fastest downhill down Whitehall, Palmer, Lake Sioux. It's getting to the 9th grade center, I can go fast. Now, with pedal assist, I can go even faster, I wasn't buying that bike. I was telling my parents, this is the bike that I want. And they said, okay, well, find one that's under $300. So they did, and here we are, or here I was at that point. I think that's happening now in our community. Our parents' community are pretty well to do. So it's nothing to a parent to, purchase a bike that their kid wants because their kid wants it. And they think an e-bike is an e-bike, and before you know it, that kid is flying down the road at 40 miles an hour. This will be shared. I mean, it's just a resource to familiarize parents with what pedal assist means. Okay, they might hear the kids say a boost bike. Okay, that refers to the boost that you get from pedaling it. But I was able to put this together in regards to better show parents some good brands that are out there. Class 1 e-bike regulations. Okay. Pedal assist is maximum 20 miles an hour. It's under 750 watts is the motor, okay? It's treated like a bicycle statewide. So a class 1 e-bike, the motor is under 750 watts. The maximum speed is 20 miles an hour. No license, no registration, no insurance required. It's allowed on roads, bike lanes, sidewalks, unless otherwise posted. In Winter Park, we restrict all e-bikes in the Central Business District, Hannibal Square, and the Orange Avenue District. Another thing unique to Winter Park, you're not allowed to block sidewalks or the right-of-way with your bike. So there's a sidewalk, and I park my bike with the kickstand. You can't do that. The Class 2, now we're talking a little bit different, okay? What's called throttle capable. all right, meaning there's a little knob or throttle that you can use to have the bike go, which can be modified. Those are treated as bicycles under Florida statute, and it has the same deal as far as no license, registration, insurance required. It's allowed on roadways, bike lane, sidewalks, unless locally restricted. As we know, Winter Park, the local restriction is Central Business District, Hannibal Square, Orange Ave District, and you can't obstruct the sidewalks and right away. The difference between Class 1 and Class 2 is the speed. And lastly, the Class 3, they go a little bit faster. They have both throttle capable, not throttle capable. Why it's important of how the bikes work, because the kids are they want something that's as close to a motorcycle as possible, to be honest. So, and modifying your bike is illegal. They have to fall within these classifications. And it's important for parents to know, what they're looking to do with these. It's important to know that, all right, either you have a Class 3 e-bike that goes 750 watts, okay? That's the limit. It's very easy to spend $400 and get a 1,000-watt e-bike with no throttle, okay? But these are the pieces of information that I believe is important for parents and buyers in general to know what's allowed in our city. E-bike state regulated. At the state level, e-bikes have the same rights and responsibilities as traditional bicycles. As we've seen, they don't require insurance or registration. They must have the accurate labeling showing their class and max speed, like we talked about, class 1, 2, 3, and max speed. And their motors must cut off when the rider stops pedaling or when the brakes are applied. That's Florida statute, meaning that when you stop pedaling, the motor stops. Right? When you brake, the motor stops. Okay? That can be modded, that can be modified. I think it's good for parents to know that, like, hey, modifying it that way is illegal. Don't do that. Not only is it not safe, because if you think you're pedaling and the pedal assist goes away, then you're going faster. Fun fact, children's frontal lobe under the age of 16, it's so underdeveloped that they do not know how much power they're generating unless they're generating the power themselves. So if they're not riding a bicycle and going 10 miles an hour, they don't know that going 10 miles an hour, hitting a bump or a patch of sand is going to send them flying 25 feet because their brain isn't ready for that yet. As we talked about, the regulations in our city where they can't be ridden, scooters and e-bikes. It's a beautiful map put on. I got this directly from the Winter Park PD. The Central Business District, which is outlined in the orange there, the Hannibal Square District, Orange Avenue District. You cannot ride anywhere. You also can't ride on a sidewalk adjacent to or within any sidewalk cafe. Can't be parked, staged, or abandoned, left on the street in the right-of-way where it obstructs vehicular or pedestrian traffic. You can't just leave these things all over the place, as per city ordinance. Electric scooters. These are fun. Electric scooters are defined differently than e-bikes. They have an electric motor, no more than 3 wheels, and no seat. And their limit is 20 miles an hour. E-scooters follow the same rights and duties as bicycles in Florida. And again, Winter Park's e-bike restrictions apply to scooters as well. Okay, so where you can't ride an e-bike, you can't ride a scooter in the city of Winter Park as well. You can't stage your scooter, and where you can't stage your e-bike. The regulations on scooters, they have all the same rights and responsibilities and duties as that of a rider, a bicycle rider. But you don't have to have a driver's license or insurance or registration for it. But the city ordinances apply to e-bikes, also apply to e-scooters. Now I'll tell you, e-scooters are very convenient for younger kids, okay? Because they're even lighter than some of the e-bikes. In my experience, I've noticed more how it's been trending. Elementary kids get walked and driven to school by their parents up until about, with the exception of my kid, I gave him an electric skateboard in the 3rd grade, and that was frowned upon quite a bit. So, and you can see the stitches in his chin for that. But around like 4th, 5th grade, where you're thinking, well, I'm gonna ride with them to school, 2nd and 3rd grade, 1st grade. I ride with them to school on their bikes, and they have training wheels, maybe not have training wheels. And then come 4th and 5th grade, where they have a little growth spurt, sleeping a little bit more, they get a growth spurt. And now it's like, well, get you a scooter. It used to be a Razor scooter, now it's a scooter. A scooter that, that Patty Peacock is riding right there, that scooter's $150, you can get it at Walmart. So Patty Peacock's scooter will service a 9-year-old riding to and from Brookshire or Lakemont. And that's a parenting decision, whether you do or don't want your kid exposed to something like that, if they can handle it or not. And I'm not here to finger wave, I'm not here to tell you how to parent your kids, nothing like that. But if you don't know how to operate the vehicle, if you don't know how to operate the device, my suggestion is don't get it for your 8-year-old. I got this from Orange County Public Schools. I think it's a great indicator of the most trendy modes of transportation that the middle and high school kids are using. We have a bunch of different ways kids get to and from school. We have hoverboards, there's segways, there are one-wheels, there are unicycles, there's motorized scooters, and there's class 1, 2, and 3 e-bikes. All up and down the place. Fun fact, high schoolers, we're talking 16 to 18-year-olds, have actually been the best behaved in regards to following laws, right? Wearing the helmets, complying. But the middle schoolers have struggled with the use. The accidents happen. They're less aware. They're not paying attention. It's, you know, so, and these are the way they're doing it, all right? This chart, again, can be shared. It'll be online for you. It's courtesy of Orange County Public Schools. The bottom, one of the most interesting things I see is, do I need to wear a helmet, all right? By law, everybody under the age of 16 is required to wear it, but it's just recommended for everybody else. So I'm 17 years old, I don't have to wear a helmet, but again, that comes into parenting, you know? None of these things have to be registered. I know motorized scooters with dual shocks on both sides that can go a lot faster than 20 miles an hour, okay? Know what you're purchasing. Know what to look for when purchasing these things. What's trending? What's trending is the race to lightweight. It's the fast is better. I think I just talked a little bit about what I've seen trending in my experience. The middle schoolers, you know, they're predominantly on scooters and e-bikes. The day of the bicycle, you're different if you have a bicycle. They're still, you know, they're in there a little bit, but most kids have some sort of pedal assist. They have everything from pedal assist to electric dirt bikes. You need to know that if it doesn't have pedals and only has pegs, that should be a sign, wait a minute, is this allowed on the roadways? Are we supposed to be riding these things? Every single kid between the ages of 11 and 17 would die for any one of those 4 major e-dirt bikes, okay? They would. They're the hottest brands right now. They're super fun, I'll give you that, but I'm a grown-up. So they can be ridden in trails and closed courses and a lot of them in the woods and stuff like that. But what's happening is that their manufacturers are making them lighter, they're making them more accessible, and they're more accessible for kids to use. So they go faster, and it's Kid thinks they're being safe. They might be following the laws and all that kind of stuff, but it's a risk. It flat is. It's a risk that as a household, as a parent, they have to come with that decision. But you need to know what is allowed and what's coming. Okay. Boom. All right. So I briefly talked about a bit of legislation that's coming in. Okay, House Bill 243 is Florida's new electric bicycle safety bill that's bringing 3 major changes. Okay, I think there was since I made this, I think there was an amendment just within the recent. It just goes to show about how quickly things are changing. Right now, the inmates are running the asylum. Don't get it twisted, and so we're trying to catch up. The laws are trying to catch up to what's actually happening. Right. First, they're going to create new safety requirements. Law enforcement must track e-bike crashes in detail. I think this is what got amended in regards to the tracking. But you're going to basically you're going to need a driver's license. Okay. There's going to be a new classification of vehicle to where you're going to need a license. The new category, it's going to be called e-moto for electric motorcycles. If the bike has more than 750 watts, goes faster than 28 miles an hour, it's no longer an e-bike, it becomes an e-moto. So we've created a new classification of e-bike. And then thirdly, it's the requiring of learner's permit or driver's license to operate class 3 e-bikes. So even as of now, with the changes that are coming up, something is going to be different in July. Okay, I encourage you, if you have a middle schooler, an elementary schooler, high schooler, get yourselves versed with the bill. Okay, because it's going to change like that, and it's going to change again very soon. Okay, we are going to catch up. Having informational sessions like this is going to inform people so we can catch up. It's going to give the school board the tools it needs to catch up. It's going to give our region an opportunity to catch up, all in the same effort to keep our kids safe. Talked about that. The most common operator issues that have been leading to crashes. The key risk behaviors that have been observed listed here. These behaviors account for the most crashes and near-miss incidences involving juvenile e-bike and e-scooter riders in the city of Winter Park. Transitioning from sidewalk to roadway, okay? You're on a sidewalk and you're tooting along and you want to go across the street that way, they just go across the street that way. They're not looking, they're just going because they're going fast. So they're going fast and they're thinking, oh, I don't have to look. Well, when I was taught to ride a bike, you look left, you look right, you look left again. But they're just going because they're going fast. There's nothing that can possibly hit them because they're going so fast. This behavior has been a major contributor to youth-related crashes of late. And riders, they're moving directly into the street without scanning for oncoming vehicles. It's no different how you teach a kid how to ride a bike as you would a scooter and an e-bike, okay? I don't want the takeaway being from, oh, these things are awful, these kids should be riding. I don't want the takeaway from tonight to be that. I want the takeaway to be, you should reteach them how to operate a vehicle, a bicycle, a kick scooter, an e-scooter, an e-bike appropriately with shared roadways and pedestrians. Crossing crosswalks without checking for vehicles. Again, one, they're young, they're unaware. You see I call them the piano tiles. It's so cool to just run over them and going fast because there's nobody gonna be coming this way, I'm going fast. But what's happening is, that's how kids are thinking, and they're not gonna look right, they're not gonna look left, look right, and look left again, and they've been getting hit. The riders are entering crosswalks assuming that the cars will stop. They're not understanding the idea of the right-of-way. They're not understanding that, hey, pull up to the thing, hit the silver button, and wait for the light to go to where you can walk across, or you can cross appropriately. And lastly, ignoring the pedestrian signals. They're treating crosswalks like bike lanes and proceeding through don't walk signals. That's just reteaching them. These are the factors that have been contributing to the most crashes here in our city. These are all, this takes me back to when I was a kid. It's if you choose to have your kids operate these things, please reteach them on how to behave, how to operate them appropriately in our streets and our roadways. Best practices. These best practices, they're cited from my experience from speaking to resource officers. Yield to pedestrians. Teach your kids what it means to yield to pedestrians. Keep speeds appropriate for the environment, all right? If it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a Thursday, my suggestion is don't go riding by the dog park. Don't go riding by even on certain parts of the Cataway Trail. There's gonna be people everywhere, walking their dogs, just walking out and about. Okay, you can ride and get to where you need to go, but odds are you're not gonna be able to go fast. And these are things you need to be telling your kids. Know where the traffic is gonna be, know where to look out for. Use bike lanes where available. They're bike lanes. Should teach them how to use them when they're available. When they're not available, what's the appropriate way to navigate through the city? Park without blocking sidewalks or right-of-way. Put your bike where it's not going to be in anybody's way. There's a flyer that you can take. I don't know if I made enough copies, but I was trying to find the next DARE, drug abuse resistance education. I was looking for an acronym. I'm a teacher, we like acronyms. And a lot of these best practices are wear helmets, proper safety, and know the restricted zones, is as you're riding, teach your kids to be kind. Teach your kids to be kind. Keep your eyes up, initiate courtesy, navigate safely, and do the right thing when being on the roadways. I'm gonna say that again. Keep your eyes up, means look around, pay attention to your surroundings, okay? Initiate courtesy. If I'm riding up and I see 2 people with a dog, hey, on your left, slow down, yield, wait. Hey, how you doing? Have a nice day. Initiate courtesy, navigate safely. If it's busy, people are walking their dogs, walking this and that, navigate safely. Don't zoom and weave in and out. Teach them how to navigate safely. Be kind with the roads that they're shared. Go ahead and use your bike, but watch out for people. And lastly, do the right thing. I think we teach our kids to do the right thing in all situations, and this is no different. Limited distractions. Florida law allows 1 earbud while operating a vehicle. Riding with both ears covered reduces awareness and can result in tickets or accidents. For kids and teens on e-bikes or scooters, the risk goes beyond citations. Blocking out traffic sounds makes it harder to hear approaching cars, sirens, even warnings from pedestrians. I read that verbatim from it was a website, lawyers that specialize in injuries that have come from micromobility and scooters and stuff. I don't know about you, but I like to assume you can teach your kids, hey, when you're riding your scooter, when you're riding your bike or bicycle, take your earbuds out. I don't care that the noise canceling means you can say la la, and then you can go from transparency to not. For those of you that don't know, headphones can adjust to sound or be noise canceling, but how about just tell them not to wear them or have one in? Because this is what the law says. And these are little things that I don't think people know. Braking. E-bikes weigh significantly more than regular bikes. That means longer braking distances, especially on wet pavement. Teach your children to slow down earlier than they would on a regular bike. The added weight combined with higher speeds can make e-bikes harder to handle in sudden stops or tight turns. It goes back to what I talked about their frontal lobe. I might have butchered the exact statistics, but it's around 16 to where they don't know how fast they're actually going when they're operating these things. And it's the race to light speed, or lighter weight, okay? If it's lighter, more people can ride it. If it's lighter, it goes faster. But they don't know that if it's lighter and you're going 30 miles an hour and you hit a bump, you're going 70 feet. It's just math. Practice control braking. Where else do we hear practice control braking? Some of you all look a little bit older than me, but on your driver's test, controlled braking. And that takes practice because the environment's changed. Our sidewalks are all over the place. There's sand, there's no sand, there's leaves, there's dry leaves, there's wet leaves. All these factors on the environment can contribute to crashes. The last time I was on my daughter's scooter, I was turning around the corner coming on Whitehall, and I ate it because it was a patch of leaves, and luckily I fell into the grass. It's not funny, okay? But yes, I fell down. The grass saved me, but yeah. Use crosswalks appropriately. Scan your environment when entering and exiting the roadway. No doubling. No doubling. I mean, it's back when I was a kid, I remember we would tow people. You'd have somebody stand on the back with the pegs or somebody on the front handlebars, and you can, it's 2 for 1. You got a bike? Oh, I got a bike. Yeah, just hop on the front, let's go. And you're on a bicycle. You're generating that and you're towing people. But on scooters, it's gonna carry now 220 pounds going at 30 miles an hour opposed to 115 pounds, 110 pounds. So it's, is there a law that says no? There is a law. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, that's simple. So, and audible signals. Audible signals upon approaching pedestrians. Okay, on your left, on your right. Good morning. Excuse me. Hi. All those simple things not only are required, but it's a kind way to share the roadway also. So, you see my peacock? That's a daddy peacock, and then the son peacock with his backpack and the peacock helmet. I was proud of that. School board member Stephanie Vanos for our area, school resource officer Lindsay Ellison, and Adriana Rodriguez from Metro Plan Orlando, all with valuable information that they helped me, disseminate this information for everybody. I would like to give Ms. Rodriguez the opportunity to share some resources that Metro Plan Orlando. Metro Plan Orlando is our regional partner in regards to mobility, how we move and shake, working closely with our Mr. Ramdat here with the city, but Metro Plan has been a good partner, and they have great resources in regards to the regional issue of e-bikes and e-scooters. So this way we're all talking the same language. That's why we have every single bit that affects our community, not just local law enforcement, but regional stakeholders and also our schools. So, Ms. Rodriguez.
Thank you. Senior Transportation Engineer with Metro Plan Orlando. At Metro Plan Orlando, we're leading our Vision Zero initiative for the region, which includes Seminole, Osceola, and Orange County. And we have a number of resources. One of our focus areas is micromobility. And I want to highlight 2 specific resources. One is that we are rolling out a teen e-bike training pilot program, which we are working right now with the school districts to distribute about 500 spots within our 3-county area. This program has been developed by the American Bicycling Education Association. Includes 12 video modules that will equip teen users between ages 12 and 15 on knowing information about battery safety, safety equipment, so basically all the safety related to the e-bikes. Also, important information on rules of the road. Important strategies on how to avoid collisions, including the relationship between speed and stopping distance, for example. and strategies on how to ride with friends and how to communicate with other road users. These lessons are videos, include animated graphics, text, illustrations, and then it concludes with quiz, and upon successful completion, the student gets a certificate. The intent with this is that at the end of the program, we will analyze the results by grade level and then get important insights for future implementation and expanding this type of program within the region. This course is available for a fee online, but we will make it free as part of our pilot program. And the other important resource that we have available on our website is a white paper based on a research conducted recently on the challenges and opportunities to incorporate e-bikes and e-mobility devices into our transportation network. So it includes best practices and recommendations related to policy, to infrastructure improvements, and just how to roll out the program. We also have a presentation, a webinar that's available on our website that presents the important findings from this research. So these will help inform our local partners, local municipalities, because local municipalities can implement their own laws related to micromobility devices.
I mean, what's the old saying? It takes a village to raise a kid. So it takes a village not to just raise your kids, but it takes a village to raise each other. So again, conversations like this, getting the parties that be together to have the good conversations, the positive conversations, so everybody can ride safely, walk safely, be safe and consistent in the right way. So with respect with everybody's time, I want to thank our panel, Board Member Vanos, Rodriguez, Officer Ellison, for taking your time out to come be with us. I want to thank everybody in the City of Winter Park, Ms. Howard, Communications, who helped put everything together and just get this thing kicked off, and is going to get everything on the website for you for continued information. I'd like to thank Chief Volkerson for his support and everything and all his knowledge with putting this together. And I want to thank you all. I want to thank you all for taking the time out tonight to come out and learn a little bit. I hope you got something to take away and share with the rest of the community. And let's be kind and ride safely. Thank you.